This is my final build for the SmartBot. As you can tell, I thought it'd be interesting to stand the Arduino Mega up for this one just because I haven't done it before. I decided to go with the bigger wheels on the front this time just because now I have to position 3 different sensors in 3 different areas of the bot. So as you can tell, we have this one color sensor down here below to scan the carpet, another ultrasonic sensor in the middle here, and then we have the second color sensor up above to scan the cups. So again, I used a standoff rod to get this sensor as close to the ground as possible. Then we have the ultrasonic sensor right there in the middle plane, and then this second color sensor I have standing a little bit off from the main platform just so that it can get very close to that cup without also getting the ultrasonic sensor too close. Here we have the 2 color sensors on the analog inputs, the ultrasonic sensor input and output plugged into the digital, and then we have the 2 motor controllers over here. Didn't use any gearing on this bot, didn't find it necessary. On the back, we have the 2 motors driving the back 2 wheels, and then a nice battery compartment back here to hold that battery. Here in the code, everything is kind of similar to what we've seen before. Big difference we have here is the inclusion of newping.h, which we use to work our ultrasonic sensor. Then we have our defines for the input and output of that sensor. We have trig for pin 4, and then we have echo on pin 5. Here's the setup for the new ping sonar. Trig, echo, and then the max distance, which we have set at 300. Then moving on, we have our pins established here. We have the front sensor, which is a color sensor, and then the bottom sensor, which is also a color sensor. These are both analog on pins 0 and 1. Then we have our can counter with an integer of count set to 0. Then we have the terms for our user-defined function. I have L speed, R speed, and delay time. Moving on, here is our function here. So we have void motors, and then we have our integers in parentheses here, and then we have the left and right and delay to correspond with those terms. Moving on, we have distance equals sonar ping in centimeters, so we can use the term distance later in the code. Then going into the void loop, we have our while loop. So when we have count, when count is less than 6, then we'll run this whole while loop. So we have the integer bottom val equals analog of the bottom color sensor, and we will display low and then that bottom value on the Arduino Mega. Then we have if that bottom value is less than or equal to 900, motors will both run at 110. For everything else, the motors will both run at 145. Then we have if the distance is less than or equal to 7 centimeters, the motors will stop, and then we will count, and then we will continue with this if chain. So we stop at 7 centimeters. That's about where this color sensor meets a cup, and then the bot will just stop so that that color sensor can read what color the cup is. Moving on, we have the front value equals the analog read of the front color sensor. We will display top with that front value on the Arduino Mega, and then we have if the front value is less than 450, we will display white, and then we will stop, back up a little, and then turn left. Then we have an else if, when front value is greater than or equal to 450, and when the front value is less than or equal to 850, we will print yellow, and then we will stop, back up, and then spin 180 degrees. And then for everything else, with this else statement, we will print black, stop, back up, and then turn right. And then that's the end of the chain there. And the bot will stop once this is all over, once it's done counting, because this while loop will only function when this count is less than 6 cans.